All right, so we are officially done with day one. I am now, day one was crazy from all different aspects. I could try to tell you the firewalk was the biggest thing for me. I was able to um, walk across fires over 2,000 um, degrees. They were saying that the walk is, so you see these coals, right, and it's dark, it's completely dark. You are trying to figure out if you're gonna do it, right? You're like, yo, am I gonna do this? Am I going to what would you call it, walk through this fire? And the whole time you're like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do it, right? So you see the people, everyone's chanting, the music's going, we're bumping, we're jumping, right? You see everybody going crazy, and then you settle down, and then he tells you again, hey, this is serious. And you can't doubt yourself, because that's what happens a lot of times. You see a challenge in front of you, and you're like, man, I gotta change up how I'm doing it, because I don't know if I can get it. So anyway, so yeah, we're jumping and we're getting ready, and then they're playing the music, and then he says it's time. And it's like, time for what? You guys know bubble guppies. I just said that, came to mind. It's time for lunch. So funny, man. Anyway, the fire comes up. The screen has just an image, a picture of the fire. So now the fire is literally now on your brain. You're like, man, I'm about to do this thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not doing it. I came like I was late. So I'm telling myself, because I was late, I'm not gonna do it, because I didn't get enough in the day to walk across this fire, right? And the funny thing is, right, these are the things we do. We tell ourselves or create these conversations so that it's okay for us to do or not do something, you know. So it's funny to be doing that and seeing that happen. So while it's happening, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, Chris, how you gonna do it? What you gonna say? You know, if because I saw one of my friends, he was gonna do it, so I was like, I'm not gonna not do it. But then, like, as he starts explaining it, I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not getting burned. He started telling me stories of where people messed up. But then he started really explaining that the purpose of the firewalk is not to walk across the fire. It's to basically use that as the things that you have in life that are over the top, that you think you can't accomplish, the things you think you can't get over, the trials and tribulations, the things you say are too much. And what you do is you convert that and put that into a situation now where you're using the fire to say, if I can cross this fire and walk across this thing, what else can I do, right? That's basically, so what else can't I do? So now towards the end, you know, the music's going, he's prepping us where he has us pick a partner, a random stranger, you know, just find somebody you don't know, you didn't come with, and then you start to celebrate, learn how to celebrate, you know, things. So you kind of project out. So me and this person, we're encouraging each other, we're celebrating, we're pushing. So I'm like, man, I'm encouraging this guy, and he's encouraging me, and we're going back and forth, and energy, and I'm helping him get his energy level up, and he's helping me get my energy level. It was crazy. Yeah, and then Tony hit us with a little twist, man. Tony said, yeah, the person you just finished celebrating with, you just finished doing all that with, yeah, that's who you're gonna walk with. That's who he's gonna be, your supporter. Whoever it is gonna be your support. And I was like, oh man, he got me, because now I'm like, I got this complete stranger who looks like he wants to do it. He had flip flops on, so he was ready. So I'm not even going front. He was gonna go, but I could see he was getting jittery, and after us jumping around and going crazy, he was with it. He was like, yeah. So I'm like, cool. I'm here. I never did it, so I'm going for it, right? So then, you know, you leave your stuff, you get out there, and now you're chanting yes the whole time. Now, the reason is because that yes is just to remind you that yes, you can do this. You have to keep telling yourself. And a lot of times when we struggle with things is because we're waiting for for someone else to tell us we can do something. And you got to realize that ain't nobody gonna tell you nothing. You got to do it. You know, you're the person that is gonna get this done. You're the magic, if you will, in the situation. You're the reason things are gonna happen or not happen. You know, so you always got to remember that. So you're chanting yes. You're like yes, yes, and you're walking through the hallways. You know, you're walking all the way down. You don't really know where everybody's going, and you're walking. You get down. You know, and then you get outside, and you still don't know where the fire is. You're just seeing everybody going to one location. So then you get there, you start getting closer, and I'm seeing people, and everybody I'm looking, I'm like, hey man, you ready? You ready? And they're like, yeah. Some people's like, nah, but I'm gonna do it anyway, you know? So still in the back of my mind, I'm thinking to myself, is this really gonna be like what they're saying, or is this just like a metaphor? Like, is he just saying that, and then you get there and he's like, I got you, you know, whatever. We get inside now. So now we're in like, think like a parking lot, think like a mall parking lot, right? Think like that size, right? And think it's in the nighttime, and they put some gates up around your mall parking lot so you can't see into the parking lot, but you know it's a parking lot, right? And then imagine now it's just massive amount of people that filled up the parking lot. So the parking lot's filled. So you get in, you can't tell where the firewalk is. You can't tell. You just see just people. So you just kind of moving with the crowd, right? So you kind of go through that about 15 minutes of getting in, and you start to see the crowd. Even though you're in the madness, it's amazing that you're starting to see within the madness, people are starting to line out a little bit. So, you know, imagine that you're from top, it'll look like a bunch of people. And if you're in there when you first come in, you just look left to right, see a bunch of people. But like after about 15 minutes of being in there, you're saying yes, and you're getting yourself ready, you start to notice the lines are starting to form within there. So you know now that even though you don't recognize where it is, you know that based on how things are shaping up, you're going in a certain direction. So anyway, so now you're going, and then this is where I feel like a lot of people get tripped up. This is where I feel like the decision making becomes more difficult, right? People start turning back now. So imagine you're already 50-50. You're like, am I gonna do it? And then, you know, I'm about to cross fire. So you're thinking, am I gonna burn my feet off? Am I gonna get blisters? You're thinking all this stuff, right? And then you start seeing people turn back. You start seeing people that were way ahead of you, pushing people back, like, I'm out of here. I don't care. I'm not doing this. This is like a cult. I mean, just the things people were saying. Mind you, these were the same people that a few minutes ago were ready to do it. And one thing Tony said was, you'll find out who you are on your way to that firewalk. Meaning, like, in our lives, there's certain things that we do to take us back to safe places. So instead of doing something or taking responsibility for something, what we'll do is we'll find the excuse or the reason for, or the whatever, right? We'll do that. Instead of doing certain things, we'll make another reason and say, hey, you know what, instead of the reason for me not wanting to walk is because I'm terrified, I'm gonna say it's this. So this way I have the conversation in my head that it's okay that I didn't walk. You get it? That's what it is to say, okay, but people started pushing and coming back, and I gotta get out of here. I'm like, man, I can't see anything. And then boom, you start looking in the air, and you see that smoke, that dust. You know, whenever you have if you've ever seen a wood burning fireplace, or you've been camping and you start a fire, there's this smoke that comes off from the fire, from the burning wood, and we started seeing this fire, this smoke. So that's how now you started to see where, okay, well, I'm going here because the smoke's here. So you start to line up, see where the smoke is, and you're seeing people turn back. And now you still got time to turn back. You still got time to say no. So I'm going. I'm like, Chris, you got to do this. You got to do this. You came here. You said you're going to do this. I'm psyching myself up. Let's go. And I'm getting myself in a state. I'm ready. I'm like, I'm going to get this done. And then you start listening to other people's conversations. And then you got people talking about, oh, this person's got blisters. Oh, I remember when they were talking about this. And you start listening, and then it's like, boom, I had to tune out. I said, I can't listen to this because they're gonna throw me off my game. Let me stay focused. How am I gonna walk through this? So there's a process he tells you on how to walk through it. And one of the words that he tells you to say when you're walking through the fire is called cool moss, right? And you say it either fast or you say slow based on how your brain works. So if you're the type of person where you talk yourself out of stuff, you say it really fast. Cool moss, cool moss, cool moss. You say it really fast. So there's not room in your brain to talk you out of it. You just say so you get through it. If you're cool and collective, it's cool moss. Every step, cool moss, cool moss, cool. So it's to go with how you're gonna walk and to keep your brain from talking you out, because you got to stay in a certain state even after you walk over the fire to not feel it. These are the things that we were taught. So we see the smoke. We get there, and then you kind of psych yourself up. Now you're like, I got it. I got past the people who quit. They not doing it no more. I see the smoke. I'm still in the game. I see this girl, these conversations to the left, to the right. I shut those off, and now I'm locking in. Like, okay, so I'm visualizing the coals. I'm visualizing the walk. I'm now starting to size up how far my walk is, how many steps is it gonna take, how long, what step do I think I'm gonna take before it actually starts to feel hot, and so you start going through all this. Then I start saying, wait a minute, there's thousands of people here. So by the time I get to the coals will be a little cooler, right? Really, Chris? Me? Like that's I'm just showing you, this is the thought process. These are the things you think about. So it's like, oh yeah, 2,000 degrees, not bad. It's probably only gonna be like 1,200. Imagine that. Think about it, right? When you're cooking and pot's super hot and you cooked and it's boiling, right? At most, like if you touch the pan, it's like, oh, that's hot, you get burned, right? At most 600, 650 degrees type of thing. Like that's what we're talking about, right? So most of you guys can relate to that. I'm negotiating with myself at this point. This is how locked in I was that 1,200 is not that bad, because it ain't 2,000, So these are the things I'm saying to myself. So anyway, so I'm saying this to myself, and there's clearly no logic to that. It's just whatever I gotta say to get through it. And Tony throws a monkey wrench in the game and says, fresh coals. So now you've got these people rolling out fresh, blazing hot, red hot coals. Like the coals are still red, like still in that flame color, all of them, not like one or two or three, all the coals. And they put the coals out there, and I'm saying to myself, yo. So it threw me off my game again. Now, mind you, I hadn't seen these coals yet. When I got up for it to be my turn is when I saw the coals. So I'm explaining that transition. So I heard that, and then I'm like, wow, they keep putting on fresh coals. So I finally get up. There's about 4 or 5 people ahead of me, and that is a girl that's in the front. She's not going. She's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not. And they were trying to help her. She was standing right there. She's like, I'm not doing it. Her husband was there, and her husband's like, I'm out. So he runs across, and he's now on the other side trying to encourage her to get her over. So I'm watching all this, and I'm like, man, this is crazy. So I'm still saying, enough people went past me. The coal shouldn't be that fresh. There's about 4 people ahead of me, and then so it's like, we're not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's not like that. It's like 1, 2, 3. Like it's kind of just, we're all scattered. But the way it was going, 4 people were ready to go ahead of me. Let me say it that way. There were a bunch of people. People were afraid, so they weren't just going ahead. So I just noticed there were these 2 guys, 2 girls actually, that were ready to go. And I'm like, I'm gonna go. Like I'm not gonna sit here and watch this thing and play. I just gotta do it. When the woman's husband goes by, Tony Robbins is now, honestly, 6 people away from me. So I'm like literally looking at him. And he's telling everybody, don't worry, let's get this thing done. And then he says, fresh coals again. It was like in Roman times where there was like, bring out the Kraken, like all those movies and stuff. It's like, it was the funniest thing. And it's like, fresh coals, bro. Like you just put down fresh coals. And so he put the coals down. Boom. That's where I saw it. I saw these people bringing out these carts and it's coals. They just throwing them, and they got masks on and gloves on and like everything to protect you from 2,000 plus degree coals. These people were in full uniform is what I'm saying, and we out here just walking out with nothing. So then you got that next dynamic that you're like, yo, this is real. This is not a game. You can get hurt. Now you're starting to rationalize more. Like, do you really need to walk across these coals, Chris? Do you really need this in your life? You got a daughter, you got a wife, I'm telling you, it's crazy stuff you think to yourself. And I was like, you know what, I made it this far, ain't no way I'm turning back. I'm not gonna start thinking about all the people I walk back. I'm like, I'm not gonna be her, I'm not gonna be him, I'm gonna get this done. And I get myself back into the state. I get it going. I get myself ready. And then I step up on the green. Whew, and the heat hit me. Just boom, the heat right away hit me. I was like, oh man. And then one of the things to tell you to do is not to look at the coals. They're already there. You already feel them. So you can't walk off of them. Meaning, like, if you just walk straight, you're not missing a coal. So it's not like it's this little area. The coals were about 2.5, 3 people wide. Like, you're not gonna walk off the coals. You could walk blind and you will stay on the coals. And I focused, and a good thing for me is I saw this crazy lady. I call her crazy. I said that to her when I got across. And she was jumping and screaming on the other side. Like, come on, you could do this. I did it. I didn't think I could do it. And she's just screaming. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna just focus up. I'm gonna look up and I'm gonna look over at her. And I'm gonna just walk this thing. And I got myself ready. Made sure I was like, I'm not questioning if I'm doing it or not. I said I'm doing it. It wasn't like, nope, I'm doing it. So then now my body and everything, I felt adjusted to that. Like, okay, Chris, let's make this work. And I started walking across this thing. I didn't run across. Cool. One of the things that he says, is just walk normal. Walk normal. Like, it's there. You're prepared. You're there. Walk normal. Like, don't make it more than anything else. And I started walking. I said, cool Mars, cool Mars, cool Mars, cool Mars. And I just kept walking. I kept looking up at the lady. Didn't even notice the 2 people that were standing there that hold you and tell you you made it. They throw water on your feet and you celebrate. It happened so fast for me. Like, I got across, and I'm gonna tell you, I walked across that thing and I did not feel a lick of heat. I did not feel, and I'm telling you, it was the craziest thing for me, because I'm thinking to myself, I should feel something. I just felt everything was cool. My feet were cool. My everything. And then when I threw the water on my feet, it felt colder. I was like, oh, did something happen? I jumped because of the coldness, not because of the heat. And I got across and I looked back at the coals, and I stopped for a little bit. Somebody gave me a high five, and then it hit me. I did it. I was like, oh my gosh, I did it. And now I'm super jacked. You could imagine. I'm jumping around. I'm almost doing backflips. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. Yeah. And then I looked off and I saw some of the people that ran across, and they had blisters. Not like they were burnt or anything. Nothing serious, but like, they were like, like when you step on something, like if you went to the beach and you stepped on the beach and the sand was really hot from the sun and your feet were hurting because of that. It was like that type of stuff. And I was looking at them and I was like, yo, this is really serious. Like, some people felt that heat, but it's how they came into it. And I just turned right around and started high-fiving people. And I said, I'm gonna be that crazy lady for a little bit. So I went behind different lines and I started looking at the people on the other side and started seeing they were nervous, they were this. So I wanted to give them something to look at. So I'm jumping up and I'm waving. I'm like, come on, you can do it. And giving them high fives. And it was good to feel like I was able to help somebody get across, like how that woman didn't know that she helped me to get across. And what I'll say, my takeaway from the entire experience, the entire day one, was you really can do anything that you set your mind to and focus on. And the limit to what you can actually get done is set by you. So you can control what your body thinks is real and what your body thinks isn't real. You can control what your body actually is going to be able to withstand and what your body is not. You also can control your finances. You can control when you become a millionaire, when you become a billionaire, when you can control those things if those are the things you're going after, because you're the one that's telling yourself what's going to be and what's not going to be. And when I walked across that fire, it just reinstilled a layer of certainty, a layer of yes, this is more than possible. It just took me to another place where my energy that I have hit another level, and I realized that I could do more. If I was able to walk across that the way I was able to walk across it, I don't really know what I can't do if I continue to set my mind that way. So day one for me was a powerful one. I'm still amazed at Tony Robbins. 12, 13 hours and his energy level doesn't stop. And it just let me know that there's another level to health. There's another level to my health, right? He's 50 something years old, I don't know. And he had more energy than me after 12, 13 hours. I want you to understand that after 12, 13 hours, he still had more energy than me. And he's been talking and jumping and screaming and pushing, and 12, 13 hours. Never dropped. And I said to myself, man, I have to continue to learn that skill. I've been working on it, so I've learned how to take certain exciting things that have happened to me, and what I like to say is, instead of externally wasting the energy just jumping around and going crazy, I've learned to internalize it and be able to maintain that state on the inside, the emotions on the inside. I've been able to maintain it to use it every day. So instead of it just being once, I'm able to maintain it. So it allows me to continue every day being active, sticking to the goals, getting the job done. So definitely a powerful day. Day one, the fire walk was crazy. But yeah, you'd be I would tell anybody to do it. If you're trying to move to the next level in life, you want to do something crazy. I don't think I'd ever jump out of a plane, but to me, this was as close to jumping out of a plane, if not worse, because the thing with a plane, because someone was talking about this, I'm bringing this up because someone was talking about it inside the crowd, and he was like, yeah, I think I'd rather jump out of a plane because, it's just a lot more difficult. And somebody said, no, it's not. The difference with a plane is that what's going to happen. There's a guy there that's going to carry you, that's going to grab you. You're going to be on his parachute. He's holding you the whole way. All you got to do is get out the plane. Now, yeah, you're up X amount of feet, and this could happen. But the percentage of it happening is so low that people continue to jump out planes. Think about it. When was the last time you heard someone that went skydiving and actually died? It doesn't happen that often, right? But when you got to just walk on fire, yeah, that's a completely different ball game, because there's an immediate impact if you do it wrong. There's nobody helping you in the sense of, I'm going to use this person's parachute. No, you are literally walking on fire. It is legitimately there. And once you get over it, you can truly look back and say, I did that. Like, that thing that was so terrifying, I did it. So, lesson of the day is, are you willing to look at whatever's terrifying you from moving to the next level in your life, like that fire, and just say, you know what, I'm gonna mentally prepare for it, and I'm gonna knock this thing out the park. I'm gonna just get it done, because what's waiting for me on the other side? So the key to all of it is taking the first step. That's the one thing that he did say that was key. He says, you know what? He says, all that stuff doesn't matter, because when you take that first step, guess what? You're gone. Like, that's it. You gotta go. But if you never take the first step, you never go. So I know that was a lot. I hope that was able to help some of you guys. Man, I firewalk, baby. The firewalk. It went down. And it really helped me put a layer of appreciation for a lot of stuff, including my wife, my daughter, just everything that's been happening. So learn to live a life of appreciation, man. That's something that I've been continually working on for the past 2 years since I learned it. And I learned to appreciate everything. If you learn to appreciate everything, it makes life look different, You're never looking. I don't pay attention to what too many people are doing at all. I just do my own thing. I created my own world where I'm just excited about my life, and everything that's happening with me and my family. So in our world, we're billionaires because that's how we feel with everything that we've had and how we work together and everything like that. And you can create that same feeling, and then everything else will fall in line after. Trust me. So on to day 2. So I'm about to get out of here. Check back in with you guys. Pay attention. Day 2, Tony Robbins, going down. Peace.